One day, Paddington was out with his basket on wheels, doing the weekly shopping for the Browns, when he got caught in a storm. Being the sort of bear who didn't believe in taking chances, he opened his umbrella. And almost at once wished he hadn't. Before he had time to shout for help, let alone close it again, he found himself outside the Podium Cinema. There was a film called Singin' in the Rain showing, not to mention a special attraction for 1 week only. It all sounded most interesting, and he hurried up the steps in order to find out more about it.
I'm afraid you can't come in here. There's an A film showing. That means bears under 16 aren't allowed in unaccompanied.
16? But I'm only 7. That's another 9 years. I only want to come in out of the storm.
That's as may be, but it's the law.
Paddington felt most aggrieved. He took another look at the poster. There were several shorts and a cartoon, not to mention someone called Reginald Clove, who was playing the organ during the intervals.
No coming back again wearing long trousers. I've met your sort before.
Paddington gave the commissionaire one of his special hard stares, and then turned and went on his way. He'd never been to the cinema before, and in view of the weather, singing in the rain sounded an ideal way of keeping dry. Not that he felt much like singing himself. It was as he drew near to a door marked Exit that he heard the sound of music.
Really? Where I stand, the sun is shining all over the place.
Paddington decided to investigate the matter, and in doing so, he suddenly discovered a whole new way of life.
I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling, I'm happy again. I'm laughing at clouds so dark up above. The sun's in my heart and I'm ready for love. Let the stormy clouds chase everyone from the place. Come on with the rain, I've a smile on my face. I walk down the lane with a happy refrain, just singing, singing in the rain, dancing in the rain. I'm happy again. I'm singing and dancing in the rain. singing in the rain.
Do you mean to say you've never been to a cinema, Paddington?
Never, Mr. Brown, said Paddington firmly, as he helped himself to a marmalade sandwich. They didn't have many cinemas in darkest Peru, and I can't go now unless I'm accompanied.
It's a long time since we last went to the cinema, Mary. How about going this evening?
Do you think it's wise, Henry?
Oh, go on. Let's.
Please? Do you think it's a good program, Paddington? Oh, it's very good. There's a film about the weather, and a cartoon, and an I beg your pardon film. That means bears under 16 aren't allowed in to see it by themselves. Oh, you mean an A film? That's right, said Paddington. That's what I said. An I beg your pardon film. And Reginald Cloves playing the organ. And I think it's very good value, Mr. Brown.
That settles it. It sounds too good to miss. We'll go this evening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brown. If you like, I'll make some of my special toffee, in case we have an emergency. I've got a new recipe I want to try out. Paddington had been looking forward to making some toffee. Only that afternoon, before he'd got caught in the storm, he'd come across a bargain packet in one of the shops in the market. He'd gone there in order to buy some nails for Mr. Brown, when he came across a packet labelled Magi Toff. According to the instructions on the side, all you had to do was mix the contents with water and to give it a good stir. In no time at all, it began to set rock hard. There was a lot more writing, but in his excitement, Paddington didn't bother to read it. He had enough troubles as it was, trying to get the spoon out of the bucket. It was quite the strongest toffee he'd ever come across, and in the end, he had to break it up into small pieces with Mr. Brown's hammer before he could place it in the special bag that came with it. In fact, he was so worn out by it all, he was too tired to test it, which was most unusual. It was an excited party of Browns who arrived at the podium that evening. And while the others went on ahead to get the tickets, Paddington stopped for a moment to say hello to the commissionaire. "Would you like one of my toffees?" he asked. "They're special homemade ones, untouched by hand. It's all done by Paul."
Toffees? Thank you very much, sir. Don't mind if I do. Ooh, come back, bear.
"Where's Paddington?" "Here I am, Mr. Brown. I went all the way along by mistake."
Sit down.
"It's all dark," exclaimed Paddington, "and I can't see."
Neither can I. Here, how about taking your hat off?
Paddington turned and gave the owner of the voice a hard stare. "Take my hat off," he repeated. "I might lose it. It's been handed down. I brought it all the way from darkest Peru. My uncle gave it to me. You can look through one of the holes if you like." "How about putting the seat down?" suggested Jonathan. Oh, I didn't realize they were folding seats." "Are you enjoying it?" whispered Judy. "I think so," said Paddington. "Thank you very much." Although he was much too polite to say so, he'd been in the cinema for several minutes, and what with one thing and another, he hadn't had time to see a thing. Apart from that, he couldn't find his toffees anywhere, and he was glad he'd brought some marmalade sandwiches, just in case. It's Reginald Clove next, said Mr. Brown as the lights came up. If you watch, you'll see the organ come up through the floor. I don't think I've ever seen an organ come up through the floor, Mr. Brown. Oh, dear, it doesn't look as if you're going to now. Look, there's a notice on the screen. Reginald Clove is indisposed. Reginald Clove is indisposed, repeated Paddington. He peered at the screen as if he could hardly believe his eyes, let alone his opera glasses. That means he's ill, said Jonathan. Never mind, Paddington. Oh, he's gone. Gone? He was here a second ago. Where can he have got to? We shall never hear the last of it if he misses the big picture. If I know Paddington, said Judy, he's probably got other things on his mind. Paddington most certainly had got other things on his mind. Knowing how much Mrs. Brown was looking forward to the organ recital, he'd gone off to complain to the manager. But having passed through several doors marked private, he found himself in a long corridor full of old tin cans. And they seemed to be full of bits of celluloid. From behind a nearby door, he heard a noise which sounded like aeroplanes. Aeroplanes and people talking. Inside the room, the noises were louder still. The noises seemed to be coming from somewhere inside a large machine. And he rested his marmalade sandwich on a ledge for a moment in order to take a closer look. Oh, dear.
What's going on?
I'm afraid, said Paddington, I dropped a marmalade sandwich in your machine.
A marmalade sandwich?
If you like, I'll try and find it. I think I know where it went.
A marmalade sandwich? A marmalade sandwich?
Paddington, I'd know that hat anywhere.
Do something, Henry. I can't. I'm stuck. I think I found Paddington's toffee.
He's not the only one by the sound of it, said Judy. I found Paddington's bag. It's not toffee, it's glue. Magitoff glue. No wonder you're stuck to your seat. Glue. The Browns sank lower in their seats as all around them sounds of tearing cloth mingled with murmurs of protest.
Over 20 years,
I've been manager of the podium, and never have I known such an evening. Patrons in the circle, stuck to their seats. Bears' silhouettes on the screen. Marmalade sandwiches in the projector. Film everywhere. Look at it. I could try putting it back, said Paddington, hopefully.
Don't touch it. And as for you, Mr. Clove, the one time when we really need you, you're indisposed.
I'm sorry. Play with one hand, I can do. Turn the music at the same time. Impossible.
What is it, Bear?
Perhaps I could turn the music for Mr. Clove, said Paddington. Bears are good at turning music. Paddington decided that being in charge of the music on a cinema organ was quite the most exciting thing that had happened to him for a long time. Between them, he and Reginald Clove certainly made the most of it. Well, Paddington, I must say that in the end, that was one of the best evenings we've had for a long time. Did you enjoy it? Oh, yes, Mr. Brown. Thank you very much. The manager of the podium must have liked it, too. He said you can come back any time you want to, provided you leave your sandwiches at home. And your Magitoff. But some other night, said Mr. Brown hastily. I think we're in for some more rain. Come on, everybody. Coming, Mr. Brown. All in all, Paddington felt it had been one of the nicest evenings he'd had for a long time, and he was anxious to enjoy every last remaining moment of it. I think, he announced to the world in general, I'd like to be a film star when I grow up. Especially one like Mr. Kelly.